That's right, NFL Straya. I'm your co-host, Jaymz Clements, here from an undisclosed location. It is Chateau de la Mort Studios down in Lorne. Feeling pretty beachy. Top of the East, feeling pretty good. I don't know, feeling pretty beachy as well.
Thank you, Gaz.
Thank you, Gaz.
Thank you, Gaz.
And on the other side of this here screen, it is a bloke who is, still reveling in being the first back-to-back winner of the NFC East in 1 million years. I'm more beer now than man, and I'm pretty sure he's still full of Christmas cheer as well. It is the sometimes singer in a band called The Ramshackle Army. He's your mate. He's my mate. It's fly, Eagles, fly, beat the Bills and help me out. It's Gaz. Gaz, what's going on?
Jim, I've tried to be in the gym like 3 or 4 days a week during this period, but I still only had one alcohol-free day in 3 weeks. So yeah, I'm not sure that that's balancing itself out, but we're giving it a crack. But still, when you're off, when there's nothing to do, having all these NFL games spread out across multiple days is fantastic. Obviously, we got to do things that were not football related on Boxing Day, because those games of the backups were pretty dog shit. But apart from that, some wild and crazy games this week. But I was waiting for a message from you to say thank you for knocking off the Bills in what can only be described as a weird fucking rainy game. But I'm sure we'll get to that one.
I've just learned my lesson. I'm just never going to message you because I don't know how far behind your lag might be. So
that was 15 seconds, Jim. You need to just lay off the trigger finger and
it might be half an hour, and I get like, oh, spoiler alert. It's like, oh, but dude, the game finished 45 minutes ago. It's like, no.
Mate, I mean, Thornbury's still on, what is it, 56k dial-up? Is that, does this generation know what that is? Are we too old for that? Anyway.
Ask your parents. Right, anyway, we're going to wrap up. We're going to do, because I'm down the beach, I don't have any bells and whistles here. I literally have a microphone. We'll quickly fire through all the Week 17 games. Most of all, though, all we really need to know heading into this week is, what does this Week 18 slate mean, right? What are the... I love a good playoff scenario, and that's where we're at. So I'll do a couple of quick yeah-nahs, but then we'll just dive into the Week 18 picks. It is the last day of 2025. I mean, I don't know how many beers you're about to have today, Garrington, but I'm about to delete about 87 tins. So I want to get this knocked over and talk some football. So let's get into it. Episode 155 of NFL Straya. Let's go! Can't sign it. Dadgummit. I'm going to bite some kneecaps. Oh, that's right. I'm Dan Campbell mixed with Phil Rivers. And both of us might be out of a gig after this week. And you're listening to NFL Straya. All right, guys. What a week it was. So, Christmas, week 17 of the NFL. Everything gets just a little bit hazy around this time of year. Even Tom Brady on the call the other day is like, I don't even know what day it is. I'm like, all right, Tom, I'm pretty sure you do. You've got work. I don't. This is I am so far beyond your comprehension of not knowing what day it is. I'm down the beach. I'm just hanging out with my kids. The cricket's over in 2 days, so I'm not even checking my phone every 15 seconds. It's pretty crazy, right? And then chaos ensues. With the Bears winning the NFC North, Gaz, because of the Lions stinking it up. That started off like this weird chain reaction where the Packers have suddenly fallen ass backwards into a playoff spot. Your Eagles are locked into a 2 or 3 seed. You've got a bunch of other things happening in the AFC, but my favorite one is still probably how Carolina and Tampa Bay are battling out in the battle of the one-legged men in an ass-kicking contest, basically, right, for the NFC South. And it is now since, Monday Night Football, where the Atlanta Falcons, who own the Rams their pick, beat the Rams. And suddenly, if the Falcons win out, Tampa Bay can't win the division. They just can't. It's awesome.
I think you'll find it's your 3-win streak, Atlanta Falcons.
They're amazing.
The Atlanta Falcons, who have been booted weeks ago and are now on a 3-win streak, but couldn't get out of their own fucking way for 90% of the year. I think as well as all of the fucking chaos scenes that you mentioned there, you kind of touched on it a bit with the Falcons pick vibe. But there's a lot of angry fan bases out there going, what are you fucking doing? Like the Giants Raiders was supposed to be like, hang on, is this going to be the first game ever where the Raiders start their defense on offense and the Giants do the same? And we just like, there's just going to be a bunch of teams standing there just doing fucking nothing, going, no, you go first. No, you go first. Like, and then someone had to win these games.
They did. And I think we still have, it's 4 divisions I think are still up in the air, right? We've got the AFC North, which will be decided by the Ravens Steelers, which is the final game of the regular season. The AFC South is still somewhat up in the air because the Jags, they play Tennessee though, I think this week, right? So they're pretty much a lock in there. But the Texans, if the Jags lose, if the Texans win, they can still win the AFC South. The Jags can still jump all the way to the 1 seed. The NFC South is obviously up in the air, as I just mentioned. Carolina, Tampa Bay. If Atlanta beat New Orleans this week, Carolina, I think, win the division. And you're like, this is just bizarre. And the NFC West, which is the other massive, massive, massive game because we have the Niners playing against the Seahawks, essentially for the 1 seed in the NFC, as well as obviously the NFC West. So it's this incredible situation where there are so many moving parts heading into week 18 that when they released the schedule, everybody was just on tenterhooks to go, whoa, well, we don't know what's going to happen. Whoa, who is broadcasting? What is happening? And like ESPN are like, wait, we've got the 2 good games? This is unreal. So they like lost their minds. But I think importantly for us, obviously, Gary, is that the Eagles can be the 2 or the 3 seed, and so can the Pats. The Pats can even be the 1 seed. So I'm just saying that's pretty cool.
I was sitting there on tenterhooks, as you said, when the schedule was being announced, because I was actually messaging a friend of the show and Legend League a participant. Well, he gets a participation medal. Josh, who is a massive Bears fan, and once it all went down the other day, I was like, well, fuck, now I need you guys to lose to the Lions. But also, fucking as soon as the schedule came out, I'm like, well, they've fucking done it really well because the Bears-Lions game, and the Eagles game, we're just going to make sure that these are played at exactly the same time so that this can't influence the Eagles' decision on what's happening. But look, already Sirianni's come out and gone that the rumor is that they're leaning towards resting everyone anyway, and seeing what happens against, the commies, how our backups do against the commies. But it could be by halftime, if the Bears are destroying a depleted Lions team, well then fucking everyone's coming off for the Eagles anyway, right?
I love it.
Yeah.
So I think the weirdest part about all of this is, and this is one of the nah questions, but like Bo Nix and Sam Darnold at the moment are your 1 seeds. Just like, what are we doing here? It's crazy, right? Drake May might win the MVP. Again, that's another nah. But, I mean, the last sort of little bits of news before we dive into the fly through these game wraps, Derrick Henry went off his head this week and basically helped. Like, if you had Derrick Henry in your fantasy final, he won you your fantasy final. Same with CMC, Bijan. Kyle Pitts was good again. That was kind of neat. And, I didn't have any of those guys. So I lost my fantasy final. So not great for the Legends League, but, couldn't take down the terrifying mothership of Tavis. But Phil Rivers seems to be done again. They're starting Riley Leonard this week. The Chargers have already
activated the 21-day practice window for Richardson, right?
Richardson, good on him.
Sure, okay.
Yeah. I do like that we were sort of eventually proven correct about the Colts.
Yeah.
Right? From the start of the season, you're like, the Colts are no good. Come on, what are we doing? They've got like Danny Dimes and Anthony Richardson. And then boom, they're like, 7-1. And you might remember, I don't take too many victory laps on this here program, Gaz. But, oh, wait, no, that's all I do. The Colts call that I made, 6 weeks ago, of them missing out on the playoffs has absolutely nailed that. So that was pretty good. But Phil Rivers just, packing her up again. It was pretty funny. And then going with Riley Leonard. I mean, he threw he had one pass this week and it was the Hail Mary at the end. There was an interception, but I don't know. I feel like he looked okay. Phil Rivers came out of retirement, went 0-3. Like, at some point you go, what was the point of that, right?
Yep.
Like, why?
Oh, I had a good time, Jim. I think that's what he came out and said, wasn't it? I had a good time.
He looks like the oldest dude in the world now. He's like the oldest 45-year-old I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it's true. The other weird thing is that if we assume that based on the fact that either Atlanta wins or the Panthers win, that the Panthers win the division. If the Panthers win the division, that means, I think if I'm counting right, 6 of the starting quarterbacks of the division winners have never won a playoff game.
Whoa, that's not bad.
Well, because we're talking Drake May, so obviously Aaron Rodgers has. Trevor Lawrence, I don't think's won a playoff. He's been in them, but I don't think he's ever won one.
I think the Jags actually, didn't they? I feel like they upset somebody a couple of years. Didn't they beat the Chargers in like a playoff game a couple of years ago?
Okay, maybe I'm wrong about that.
Off the top of my head.
Bo Nix, Caleb Williams, obviously Young, and Darnold. It was his first playoffs appearance last year, and he was lost 2 in a row and was out. Right?
Yeah.
So that's a lot of first timers. Plus, we've got Aaron Rodgers. And then all the wild cards have got some presence, but obviously you've got Eagles. Yes, we do. Love. They beat the Cowboys.
They beat the Niners a couple of years ago, didn't they?
Yeah.
Or did they lose it? I can't remember.
Yeah, they definitely beat the Cowboys. I remember that one. But then you've got obviously Tampa Bay will not be making it, but you've got Purdy, and you've got Mr. Rams, who's got a questionable MVP.
All of a sudden. But obviously the big one is like Tyler Huntley. Let's go. Yeah. And like those are the last 2 little bits of news, I guess, is like obviously Herbert is being rested by the Chargers, and like Lamar, we just don't know if he's going to be playing this week.
I think the big concern for me, Jim, is the state of health in the NFL and all the medical staff, whether they're just taking time off around this time, because there's a lot of players going on IR at the moment. It happens it just seems everyone gets injury prone around this time.
Crazy.
It's like, I'm going to go to IR. And, it just so happens that you can have no effect on the remainder of the game. So, we're going to stick Brock Bowers on IR and those sort of guys.
Max Crosby.
Crosby. Yep.
Just not healthy enough to play football, but healthy enough to play basketball.
Yeah, exactly.
Love that. All right. Is there any other news? I think that's fine. Let's do some games. Cowboys 30, Washington 23. Look, if you watch this game, good on you.
Sure.
Don't care.
Yep.
Lions, they went by the wayside 10-23 against the Vikings, which is hilarious. They were just wildly inept. And I'm going to talk about our man Dan Campbell a little bit later, but yeah, it's not great. So amazingly, the Vikings and the Lions are 8-8, both of them. After this, so what a world.
So I do have a problem. So the excuses being made around this time of year are fucking wild, right? Because you've got players like, we talk about the Josh Allen roller coaster and people talking about, fucking Jalen Hurts is being carried and blah, blah. And the excuses being made for the Lions, right? Have you seen their injury list? Have you seen what's going on? Yeah, I get it, but they lost to a fucking unknown backup in Minnesota. Yep. And the secondary injuries did not cause Jared Goff to throw 2 picks, to Jahmyr Gibbs to only have 41 yards, and Montgomery 25. Both of them averaging below 2.5 yards a carry. That is not secondary problems.
Nope. It really isn't. Broncos 20, Chiefs 13. Like, these Christmas Day games were just brutal. Chiefs, obviously, no Mahomes, no chance. Broncos still managed to nearly screw it up, but they got out of there. And then the rest of the ones, we had the Sunday games our time, so Saturday night games over there. Texans beat the Chargers in a just really strange game where the Texans sort of got off to a flyer and they did nothing for the rest of the game, which is a bit of a worry if you're a Texans fan. The Chargers, they fought, and they kind of just couldn't get over the hump at the end. Ravens kicked the shit out of the Packers, 41-24. Derrick Henry just goes off his bloody nut. It was 216 yards on the ground and 4 touchdowns, just taking the piss. So,
are you worried with the I don't know if I haven't read all the way down your notes, so I don't know if you touch on this, but you know the Packers injury list running into this playoff series is pretty fucking substantial.
Yeah, I think this is,
and the fact that they come out here, yeah, they got a backup quarterback, but Malik Willis did it, you know, a substantial job, you know, future Browns quarterback Malik Willis. Yeah, I mean the fact that just it's not fucking great, that defense to allow 41 points. You know, you got Jordan Love and blah blah, but Jesus,
yeah, well, sort of. I think it's like talking about our teams later on, and our preferred playoff opponents is probably Packers are an interesting one. Then we had the Monday morning games, 42-10. The Patriots kicked the crap out of the Jets. Drake May looked awesome. Yeah, the Bengals kicked the shit out of the Cardinals, 37-14, with your man Joe Burrow looking awesome and Jamar Chase going, hello, I'm still good. You had a horrible Steelers-Browns game.
Too little, too late. Yep.
Way too little, too late. 6-10, just weird. I think Chase Brown also had a really good one too. Browns 13, Steelers 6. Nailed this pick in our head-to-heads. This came down to the final, set of plays. And it always felt like Aaron Rodgers was going to pull this out of his ass. And then when he didn't, I could not have been happier because it meant the Baltimore stay alive for this knockout game on, the Sunday night finale to the regular season. It did feel like Goodell's like, make sure that Rodgers does not complete this and that we have the knockout game at the end of the season. Over. And you're like, thanks, Rog. Browns, sure. Saints 34, Titans 26. I'm a shuck boy. You know that. He's awesome. Absolutely awesome.
Shuck cuck. Jimmy the shuck cuck. We've got it. We've got it.
Titans are just horrible. Jags Colts came down to the very end as well, which was a pretty weird one. Like the Jags just sort of pulled out of their ass. 23-17. It felt like they were going to bum their way into like, oh my God, the Jags are doing it. And then the Colts went, wait a minute. Wait. We're shit. Just everybody relax. The Dolphins beat the Buccaneers, which is Quinn Ewers just going, check this out. I'm radical. It was more so the Bucs just going, hey, we don't play defense anymore. This is our new thing.
It's fucking very, very fucking strange.
So
the amount of teams with, season on the line, like literal opportunities to take like their path in front of them versus teams who don't give a fuck. Yeah. Like it was amazing.
It was absolutely astounding. Seahawks 27, Panthers 10. Just not enough there for the Panthers in that one. You get that on the big job sometimes. Seahawks, I feel like that's that's their vibe though, right? They just keep winning on the road. They don't give a shit. 7-1 on the road this year.
Yep.
Unreal. Giants 34, Raiders 10. That was funny as. I nailed this pick as well, but geez. It's just like this game because there was only the two games.
Fans really not fucking happy.
The fact that this was the only other game opposite Eagles Bills was hilarious for this late afternoon slate because they only had the two games, and you're like, why is this one of them? What are we doing here? And then you had Eagles 13, Bills 12. Came down to the final play. Josh Allen couldn't get the 2-point conversion. People, I mean, there was like, rumblings of, why would you go for the 2 points? Like, I don't know, because Josh Allen appeared to have hurt his foot. Just get out of there. Like, who gives a shit at this point? I think because they were basically locked into, I think they still could have had a bit of a chance, but still, it wasn't looking great. So go for the win. They don't get it. No. What was Jalen Hurts'?
Lots of weird fucky shit happening in the rain.
Jalen Hurts' second half was pretty good.
0 completed passes. 0 completed passes in the second half. 0 of 7. Eagles with 13, 0 up at the half. And then it just all became really, really fucky. I mean, the Bills relied on trick plays. That trick they did, a nice little hook and ladder there. But the Eagles' defense is fucking lights out. I think that's if we do any damage in the playoffs, it's on our defense rather than our offense. But once again, Jalen Carter, fucking another blocked field goal, got his hand up on that one. Couple of 2-point conversions. If the Bills had gone for either of these as a just a point after, well, we would have been going to. Actually, they would have fucking won. But anyway, thank fucking God they didn't. Josh Allen running shit in by himself. Shakir's going to be a menace if they play in a dome because that cunt's speedy as fuck. Yeah.
Fun game. So is that one or two games that Jalen Hurts has not had a completion in the second half this year?
Two. But, we've won both of them, Jim. So back in your box, son.
All right. Nice one. And then we had the most fun game of
11 and 5. 11 and 5. I'll fucking take it.
Remember the most important stats, the W. The most fun game of the weekend was the whoever kicks a field goal first loses Bears-Niners game, which was off its head, which I believe was one of the first games we've ever seen go 7-7, 14-14, 21-21, 28-28, and then off we go. I think it got to 35-35, and then, Bears kick a field goal and ended up losing. So it was awesome. It was absolutely off its head. Caleb, and this again came right down to the very, very, very final play with Caleb Williams. It felt like there was a couple of times, like, talk about a bit of an old mate. No, mate. It's DJ Moore in the end zone, just jumping up and down, going, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me, give it to... by himself. It was, I think, a good loss for the Bears to have, if that makes sense, right? I feel like this is one of those ones you go, get into an awesome shootout against the Niners, whose defense stinks. But I feel like you get lulled into a false sense of security if you're the Bears and you win this game and you're like, we're fucking awesome. And then like the devastating playoff loss hits in week 2 or something. But you still come out of this, I feel like, feeling okay as a Bears fan. Just going, look, it's all right. This is all like found money almost at this point. We're good. Ben Johnson rocks. Caleb looked incredible. He had like that fucking frozen rope. Was that to Byrne? I can't remember. But there was just a couple of other ones where you're like, oh, that wasn't, don't know about that decision. But still, there's enough there that you're like, I feel okay. And the Niners, they're just pretty good because they're the Niners.
Mate, on offense, fucking McCaffrey is in peak form. And fucking Purdy's now 10 passing touchdowns in the last 2 weeks.
It's pretty good.
That's fucking hectic.
McCaffrey kind of got hurt as well at different times. It looked like he was just sort of all banged up. So it's interesting to see what they do with him this week. But, I mean, they obviously have to play him because they want the 1 seed and get a week off. And then the final game of the round was Rams 24, Falcons 27. It was 21-0. And then it was not.
What the fuck? Jim, I was cleaning my bedroom yesterday. I was sorting through some clothes and I was like, oh, fuck, the game started. So I turned it on, but when I turned it on, it was already 21-0. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And sure enough, Stafford shit the bed. The fucking Falcons came out and played like they've been eliminated, as they do. They come out and are world beaters. But of course, the inevitable happened and the Rams came back.
They
but
still
Bijan went
lose,
off his fucking head. Yeah.
And
Bijan was off his head. Matt Stafford threw some weird touchdowns. Did I see a stat where Matt Stafford now has the career most pick sixes?
Ooh, I actually don't know.
Did I see that one? I could be making this up. I feel like, well, the one that I saw, I haven't verified it, but I saw that. I think that pick 6 may have taken him over Brett Favre.
Nice.
There you go. Although it could be incorrect. So if someone can tell us in the comments whether I have fucking made that up or...
I think the 3 interceptions as well that he threw early, you're like, this is like watching an MVP just unravel all in like real time. It was very strange, but anyway, I think the Bears as well, like their thing, just to rewind just one more time, like watching like the Rams play on one side after like the day after watching the Bears and Niners play. And the Rams is having like this weird meltdown-ish kind of game. You're like, ooh, this just made like this NFC playoff like way more interesting. And my favorite thing, we'll get to, playoff scenarios in a second, but watching that sort of weird unraveling and then McVay coming out and saying, hey, we're going to play everyone again this week because we need to basically get into like some sort of non-shit rhythm, and away we go. And yeah, I haven't seen anything about the Stafford pick sixes, but anyway. But the Bears and the Niners just got to feel that.
Let me see if I make that up.
Hint a little bit better, I think, after watching that Rams game. So some quick let's do it. Number 1, is this the weirdest season that we've covered, Gaz? We've been doing this 6 years now for NFL Straya. And I feel like this is the weirdest, jankiest season that we've had, not just because KC and Mahomes have pissed off for the first time that we've been doing this show. We've essentially gotten through this season where you roll a dice and it's like, sure, that's who's going to be in the fucking Super Bowl. Because I think you look at the standings right now, it makes very little sense. As I said at the start, Byrne Nix and Sam Darnold are currently the 1 seed QBs.
Yeah.
It is. All right. That was good
and
chat.
The MVP favorite is Drake May, who has played two. Hang on, you've got the stat that you guys have got as many wins against over 500 teams as the Jets.
That's
correct, right? Sorry,
I'm just also checking. Can you play other teams?
You just paid me out. You just paid out.
Can you play teams that aren't on your schedule? I just need to check this because you can only beat the teams in front of you.
Yeah, no, you should. You should, because the same as me, right? Doesn't matter if you can complete 0 passes if you walk away with the fucking win against the person who's in front of you. Let me just going back to a previous stat. According to Reddit, and nothing wrong ever happens on Reddit. Oh no, sports reference. There's a stats head fucking actual link to this. Most career pick sixes. Matt Stafford's on 32 now. Favre's on 32. Dan Marino 28. Joe Namath 28. Drew Brees 27. Manning 27. Phil Rivers 25. There you go. So he has the most pick sixes in his career.
It's pretty good. So
yeah, bullshit stats. That's what we're here for, Jim.
So this is I reckon one of the weirdest seasons we've had, where we've had some front-running teams that have completely dropped off. You have no real clear standouts in the NFC. You watch Indy go to 7-1 or whatever, and now they're 8-8. They bring back Phil Rivers, which is still hilarious. We have Carson Wentz playing QB at one point. The Detroit Lions, who looked like world beaters earlier in the season, 8-8 as well. You got the Cowboys, who pull a bunch of trades and stuff. It goes absolutely off their heads. You got a Commanders team that made the NFC Championship game last year, go 4-12 so far. You've got a Raiders team that thought they could actually make the playoffs and make some noise, bringing in Geno Smith and Pete Carroll. They're 2-14 at the moment. The Pats, I didn't expect 13 wins. They're at 13-3. It's crazy. The Broncos felt like the sexy AFC pick beforehand, but we still thought the big three of Baltimore, Buffalo, KC was still probably unassailable. And here we go.
Yeah. Yeah, you've also got Carolina, who last year had their number 1 overall draft pick benched. And he was a bust and he was done. And now all of a sudden they're fucking, 12 months later they're playing for the division, right? Awesome. Which is fucking weird. You've also got, the pressure that we're putting on Josh Allen now is not about MVP season you need to win. It's about all of your nemesis and no longer there, right? You've got, it's the end of the Mahomes era, so to speak. 1 year to one down year. But, Burrow, who's beaten him in playoffs, is not going to be there. Potentially Lamar not going to be there. This is the fucking time. The pressure is all on him in the AFC. Everyone else, as we said, no playoff wins for guys like May and Nix. And if they were one and done, you'd be like, oh, you know what? It was a great season, as you said. Jim's working really fucking hard. All body weight is being put on keeping that lid on. But, there's all those sort of things where you go, you know what? Fucking second year. Good start to your career. You made the playoffs. Go you. Whereas if Allen doesn't get through at least to the Soupy now, you'd be like, fucking hell, dude.
So that's
all these second years are going to be only one more year better.
The other two big things, I guess, coming out of this week is that Josh Allen now has to win 4 playoff games on the road if he wants to win a Super Bowl. And the other one is that the Niners, if they win this week, can just stay at home through the Super Bowl. Because they'd be the 1 seed in the NFC, and the Soupy is at Levi Stadium. So, chaos. The other one is obviously, after this week, do you reckon Drake May is your MVP? Yeah, nah.
Look, I can't remember what podcast I was listening to while trying to sleep last night, but it was a really, whether it was, can't remember. But they did a good analysis of it on the fact that it's a popularity contest, obviously. Yeah, the Stafford story is fucking great, and they had a brutal schedule. He's got more weapons though, right? So that's a negative on Stafford. He's got more weapons. He had great touchdown to interception ratio right up until shitting the bed in the last few weeks. Drake May has been consistent with less weapons, but as we said, like had a way easier schedule. So I don't know. I honestly don't know. The storyline and the name of Stafford, I feel is going to still get him over the line. Look what happened last year. It just felt like it was Allen. Allen was the hot guy at the end of the season, and that probably fucking got him Dunsky. So I feel like it's still Stafford's. He's going to win it.
Nice one. All right. Well, I guess the other Naza, would you rather play the Packers than the Rams in the first round of the playoffs, Gaz? Yeah, nah. Obviously, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to say yeah. Jared Verse and that defensive line for the Rams is pretty strong, and obviously the Packers are injury riddled. We've had really good luck in the last 3 years. I think we're 3-0 against both. I could be wrong, maybe, but including playoffs. But yeah, like our offense is not fucking strong at the moment, so I think our defense playing against, I'd prefer to take on Love and those Packers than Nakua and Stafford.
Yep. Because at the moment, the Eagles in the 3 spot. I think, so the playoff scenarios are, if Chicago don't win this week, you guys win, you can jump them into the 2 spot. Correct. Which would then probably Green Bay, I think, are locked into the 7 because they're 9-6-1, I want to say. So it'd be, 2-7, you'd have Green Bay. If you stay in the 3, you're probably stuck with the Rams, even though your man Sean McVay is going to play everybody. I don't think they can then jump the Niners or the Seahawks who are ahead of them, right? So it's kind of like locked in the 6 and 7. I feel like if I'm the Eagles, I'd rather play the Packers. I think they're just super banged up. So but just be a 2-7.
There's children in the there's children listening at home who've just yelled out 6-7 to what
6-7. Nice. The same thing goes for my beloved Patriots, of course. I have been yelling about the Texans literally for the last 2 months, and I do not want to play them. I also don't want to play Buffalo again. So the only team I do want to play against is my beloved Juzzy Herbs, and that would be the biggest kick in the dick of all if my beloved Juzzy Herbs came out of nowhere, beat my beloved Patriots in his first ever playoff fucking win. So be careful what you wish for kind of vibes, I feel like. But I don't know. The Pats are getting slightly healthier. Milton Williams will be back at some point. I'd much rather have the 1 seed and just get a week off. But I don't really see Denver losing this week. So out of the options, I think Buffalo might rest Josh Allen this week. So they'll sort of maybe be stuck in the 7. The Chargers they're resting Herbs, so they'll probably stick in the 6. I just don't want to play the Texans, essentially. But I also don't want to play the Bills. So fuck it. I don't want to play anybody. Come on. Just too much stress. Fuck this.
Can't they just put us to the soupy?
Yeah, just give us the 1 seed so I don't have to worry about the first week. Then you can sort of, narrow in everybody else. Good bloke of the week. Who do we want to buy a beer this week, Gaz? I think every Bears fan is going to buy Ben Johnson a beer after this season, right? Sitting there winning the NFC North is crazy after where they were. Up against, we looked at this as essentially the division of death, where you've got a Vikings team coming off, 14 wins last year, a Detroit team that's a juggernaut, the Packers that get Micah, and you're like, geez, look out. And the Bears go, oh, that's cute. How about we just win it anyway? And that's what they did. So Ben Johnson gets a beer. I'll probably buy Caleb a beer as well after that, season that he had.
Yeah.
CMC, Christian McCaffrey, he and LaDainian Tomlinson are the only 2 players who had 3 seasons with at least 2,000 yards from scrimmage and 15 touchdowns. That's pretty good.
Crazy.
He's like, so I think the other ones are like obviously Derrick Henry, Kyle Pitts last week as well with a bit of that, and Bijan this week as well. Like if you just had them, they won you your fantasy league, so you should buy them a beer. Kyle Pitts probably got you through to a final. He didn't help you this week. He was shithouse, but he helped get you there just out of absolutely fucking nowhere. So thank you, Kyle Pitts. So buy him a beer. The one that I'm not going to buy a beer is probably Jameer Gibbs, who fucked me. But anyway, the outside of that, if you got more beers to distribute,
I'm going to buy one. Yeah. Only because it's funny. Because in previous years, I've really stuck the boot into Kirk Cousins. because fuck that guy. But also, in these last couple of weeks, he's just played himself into a roster spot for next year. He's fucking and just playing spoiler. He's just fucking come out and just destroyed the Rams. But also, based on when Penix got injured and wasn't great anyway, he's gone from if Penix locked up that QB1 spot, and don't get me wrong, he's their future, but they're probably going to get rid of Kirk, and he was going to end up with somewhere fucking rubbish. But he's probably now played himself into a spot where, well, Penix might not be back from that injury in time for the beginning of the season, and he's proved himself manageable, so probably keep him, right?
Probably.
So he probably just played himself into it. So way more content for us, Kirk Cousins content for us next year. It's great. Yeah.
Good on him. He'd be like, "Oh, gee willikers, another Bud Light. Thank you there, Gary. That's really, really appreciate that. All right. I think that's all I want to buy a beer for. Like, that's about right. I think. Yeah. Old mate, no mates. Who's got no mates? The final day of 2025. Dan Campbell has been copping it left, right, and center because, I don't know, he took over play calling duties. And yeah, since he's done that, Gaz, it hasn't gone great. A bit of a rough one, I'll tell you. So not ideal.
It's funny, the roller coaster of the season. I think that came out of the gates. Testing my brain, that's had way too much whiskey pass through it. But I think week 1 they got their ass kicked by the Packers, maybe.
Yep.
And we're like, see, that's what we thought would happen when they lose both coordinators, blah, blah. And then the Bears went on a little bit of the Lions went on a bit of a run, and we're like, they'll be fine. Dan Campbell, that's fine. It's fine. And now, not so much, Jim.
Yeah.
Not so much.
They were, I want to say, 5-2. And feeling pretty good. And they've lost 3 straight now to fall completely out of the playoffs. That is crazy. DK Metcalf is a bit of old mate, no mates after that punch on that we talked about last week. Got suspended 2 games.
Yeah.
Not great when you're trying to make the playoffs. I'm just saying. That's a pretty rough one, I'll tell you. That's a bit of an old mate, no mates in that clubhouse.
But also all the video, like when he's coming out, it's like, no, there was definitely racist comments, and then video from the stands show it doesn't appear to be any racist comments. And this fan who came out and made a pretty inflammatory press conference where he just called him, what's his official name again?
Was it DK, isn't it? So it's got the DK in
something like that. But just called him that. That's it. He repeatedly called him that just as incite him again in the press conference. But
which is pretty funny. And then it's like also apparently he's kind of done this before when he was on the Seahawks. So DeKalen Metcalf, and he kept calling him DeKalen, and you're like, this is some top-notch shit stirring, sir. Well played. Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs is old mate, no mates as well. There was charges, or at least reports of like strangulation and assault this week, and like the Pats have come out and have already backed him and gone, this seems like a bunch of sort of weird, shitty, overblown bullshit. Basically stemming
but
from
it was against an employee, not against Cardi B, right?
Yeah. So
it was a female employee, reportedly.
Yeah, it was like a private chef, I think, on a of something, and so it was like all a bit crazy and a bit strange. So I don't know what's going to happen there, but facing charges, a felony charge of strangulation and misdemeanor charge of assault. So anyway, not great. And all of the Diggs, because Trevion Diggs also got cut by the Cowboys. How about damn Cowboys? So
after signing a 5-year, $97 million contract, 2 years ago?
Oofed. So tough time to be a Diggs. And then, but the thing is, I think there's already teams circling him for the playoff run, so good on him.
He'll go through waivers. Well, and he's happy to join that. The report is really weird too, because after the last loss, when they played the Commies, the report is that they played the Commies. He requested to stay there because he's got family there rather than fly home with the team. They've declined it. He said, come on, mate. I'm just going to fly back to Dallas and then turn around the very next morning and fly to Washington to go with my family anyway. They once again declined it, and then 2 days later cut him. Like, that seems like there's a bit more to that story. But anyway, was it him Who was it? Him or Bland who got concussed by dropping a TV on their head earlier in the season?
I don't remember. That's amazing.
No, that was a concussion. That was a concussion at one of the Cowboys secondary had a concussion and it was dropping a TV on his head that he was trying to put up on his wall.
Unreal. And obviously the last one was Max Crosby, a bit of old mate, no mates, where it's like, oh, he's gone on to IR, and then there's a bunch of videos.
Yeah, it was Trevion Diggs.
Trevion, there you go.
Sorry, just confirmed. It was Trevion Diggs. We lost it because he was mounting a TV at home, and it fell off and hit him in the head. So he was concussed. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, that is crazy, actually. I'm seeing that report about Trevion as well. But so Max Crosby goes on IR, and then there's like video of him playing basketball, running around with his kids, and like, yeah, it doesn't seem that hurt. So that's well played, sir.
Well, he wanted to play, right? So this was almost like a fuck you, because he was saying, nah, I'm effectively going to need surgery on this, and I've been playing through this hurt, for the season. Let me fucking go. Let me go. And they said no, and there was reports that he stormed out of the facility. Then there was reports that he was back in the facility. But then, as you said, he's shown up on video. It's like the workers' comp claims of the fucking dude in the neck brace, right? And then he's seen doing gardening.
Yeah, he was I think the craziest one was like he's bouncing on a trampoline. Like I've still got a bung Achilles, and I'm like, I don't want to go near a trampoline. And I'm, as an elite athlete myself, Gaz. These are the things you got to take into consideration. Outback Takehouse, the final one of 2025. It's Wednesday at Outback, and that means it's the Hump Day special. That's right. We've gone into the Outback. I've taken the squids. We've gone with a couple of high-powered rifles, taken down a couple of feral camels. Boom, you chop off the humps, you put them in the oven, bit of mince, bit of coriander, a few like balls of falafel go in there as well. Boom, roast that for 2 days. She gets dry as hell, but I'll tell you what, it's a great, great, great special, and it's only at Outback. It's the Hump Day special. Today's Flame Grill take is the Eagles have been foxing, Gaz. They know the pressure of going back-to-back and going to a soupy and trying to win it all again, so they've purposely been shit in order to lull everybody again into a false sense of security. Now watch Saquon and co go off over the next few weeks and go back-to-back and win another soupy. Only at Outback. How do we feel about this?
I was going to say, you got a comment or do you want my thoughts? Okay, here's a couple of things I've noticed. Right. So, in a really, really down shitty year where everyone's paid off on Jalen Hurts, Jalen Hurts has had his very first 25 touchdown season, right? In the last, since complaining, even though we had 3 losses in a row there, and AJ Brown was criminally underused, he's got his fourth 1,000-yard season in a row for the Eagles and seems to be fine. Saquon ended up going off in the last few weeks. Yes, against shitty defenses and then building up. We had a terrible game this week, but it was a slugfest against a fucking contender. So I'm going to give that a pass. But we're going to have Lane Johnson come back. They've started doing more crossing routes in motion and getting a little bit more creative. So, look, I wouldn't be against it. I'm not saying that Jake Elliott has deliberately shanked those kicks, right? And there's some really dodgy fucking shit that has happened. But this defense is playing lights out, and all it needs is a couple of those little special moments, and all of a sudden, yeah, they're not walkovers anymore. So I don't think they've been foxing too much, but I think there's a few things up the sleeve, I reckon, Jim.
I think it'd be the funniest thing in the fucking world if Saquon comes out and has like 180 yards in this first playoff game. Right? And it's like, aha, I fucking nailed it. I called it. I saw this coming. I'll be all over that. The little Aussie battler of the week, the Aussie spotlight. I just want to, a couple of the other punters. We talked about Torrey Taylor the other day, and it's like amazing sort of when you look back through all the stats and everything and how few times he's actually really had to punt compared to some of the other, big kickers out there. So he's at, I think, only 56 punts for the season. And he's got an average of 48.1 versus someone like Dicko, who's punted it 51 times. He's got an average of 49.3, which is pretty neat. And I think Crawshaw's he's like third in all like the yards for kick, fifth overall. So he's had to punt 69 times. Thanks a lot, Bo Nix. His average is 47.6 up there in the nice air in Colorado. But so it's a pretty decent season for a bunch of the Aussies. and you'll sort of take that, right? I think Mitch Wish only played the 12 games.
Outside.
But yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, the thing we didn't mention the other day is Jordan Mailata won the Walter Payton Man of the Year nomination for the Eagles. So apart from being a player, he's obviously one of those things for his resume now.
He's a good bloke. Good bloke of the year. That's literally their version of the Good Bloke of the Year award. Right, the big one, Captain Fantasy and Supercoach. Now, I made the NFL Straya Legends League Grand Final. Got my absolute head kicked in by Tavis to the tune of like a 70-point fucking blowout. Because all of my team was injured by the time I limped into the Grand Final. But no Devontae Adams, Brock Bowers goes out, Jaden Daniels goes out. Basically, 2 of my top 3 picks out. Jameer Gibbs was shit out. You get that on the big jobs. But I did go back and look at Tavis's team, and in the first 3 picks, I think he had Bijan, Puka Nacua, and the other big name one that he had was also a great pick. And I'm like, hang on a second, how the fuck did that happen? And this is like why this season is so strange. You go back and go, why did Puka Nacua go 20th overall, or maybe even 22nd overall in a fantasy draft? And you're like, because Matt Stafford came into the season going, my back's fucked. I don't know if I'm even going to play. Might retire. And everyone's like, oh, I'm a bit afraid of that. Turns out he was just foxing everybody. And here we are. It was like, are you fucking serious? So that one broke my heart looking at Puka and just going, how did he actually shank that, right? So he did very, very well, did our man Tavis. And I think with his other one, he got Devon Achane with his 3rd pick, right? I think at 36, 37. So his top 3 was Bijan, Puka Nacua, and Achane. You're like, yeah, no one was going to fucking beat him all year. And then he gets to the next one. It's Garrett Wilson. You're like, yeah, that's a bit of a miss. Tony Pollard goes a bit early. Yeah, that's a bit of a miss. Kelsey, bit of a miss. But that top 3 didn't matter, and he just absolutely curb stomped me. So well played. Congrats, Tavis. Awesome year. Unreal. He was unbeaten for I think the first 10 weeks. Absolutely just stomping the rest of this league. So I managed to put up a little bit of a fight and then got my head kicked in. So, but this was my starting lineup in the final week of the season, Gaz. Tyler Shuck. That's a waiver wire pickup. Oof. Jacoby Myers. That's a waiver wire pickup. Tet McMillan, one of my actual draft picks. Jameer Gibbs, my number 1 overall draft pick. I think I had pick 4. Kenny Gainwell, that is a waiver wire pickup. AJ Barner, that is a waiver wire pickup. Dylan Sampson, that is also a waiver wire pickup. So I had, in the end, 2 people that I drafted actually starting for me in the final week of the season with everybody else out. So bit of a rough one, I'll tell you. But the good news is I am ranked in Supercoach 24th overall in the world. So that's pretty good.
That's insane.
That's
good job, Jim.
Up 22 spots from 46 last week. So now I've got 1 remaining trade. I don't know if I'm going to do an NFL Supercoach, Jim Does Supercoach show this week. We'll see if we can just cram in 10 minutes to Sabo. But I have 1 remaining trade, Gaz, and I have absolutely no fucking clue what I'm going to do. Because like Josh Allen may or may not play. I think I've got to make up like 200 and maybe 300 points, and it's just not going to happen. So I'm not going to win the fucking comp, but wouldn't mind sort of trying to crack the top 20. We'll see how we go. But 24th overall, feeling pretty good about that. Awesome season. The craziest part is I think I lost all of my leagues. So like, I don't know, just the week on week action is just brutal. But anyway, so some good fantasy action towards the end. I had a good year all up. But the other thing that I'm on top of at the moment is our picks, because I'm now up by 6. I was explaining to this. I need a pretty hefty, Google Sheets wizard to graph how many. I think I was down 8 at one point this season, and now I'm up by 6. So charting that rise from the depths has been pretty incredible. So I think we had 4 different picks this week.
Yeah,
and I went 3-1 against you. So I added 2 more to my overall total. So I think we're at 129 and 123 correct picks across the season, you and I. So I'm at 129, you're at 123. which leads us into the Week 18 picks.
This is absolutely horrible, Jim, because fucking I've gone through these just now, and half of these we could change on Friday.
Exactly.
Like, I honestly have no idea with some of these, because it all depends on who's going to fucking win. As in, sorry, who's got more to play for and who's going to be rested. Right?
Yeah. It is a disaster this week, I think, with the picks. So we're just going to strap in, hold on. So week 18, all of our picks are over at Dabble. You can use the link that's in our show description or in our social bios. Go hit that up. Check us out. You can see all the picks that we put up there. I think we did okay last week. I didn't win cheesesteak tipping. I think Jez did, but otherwise did all right. Yeah. So against the line for week 18, we start off, I think we've got 2 Saturday games. So Sunday, our time, which is very fun. Carolina at Tampa Bay for the NFC South, ostensibly. But of course, if Atlanta beat New Orleans the next day, then it's all for naught. Tampa Bay, 2.5-point favorites at home against Carolina here, Gaz. What do we think? Is it going to be Carolina on the road? Or is it going to be Tampa Bay at home? Can they pull out one? I just can't see that defense stopping anyone.
Tampa Bay's defense. That's it. I think that's what it comes down to for me. That Carolina defense. Sorry. The Tampa Bay defense has been leakier than a sieve, and Carolina, while they're getting the shit kicked out of them by good teams like the Seattles of the world, they're playing all right against the mediocre ones. So I think Carolina get over this and win their first division.
Tampa Bay have lost 7 of 8
in.
It's so crazy, including to the Panthers 2 weeks ago. So I think Panthers at home is a little bit different. They still got their ass kicked by Seattle this week, but I think I'm going to go Carolina as well. I just trust them a little bit. Even if they lose this, I'm still going to take the 2.5 points with Carolina, because I can't really see, Tampa Bay. All of their games are like super weird, close ones, right? Even beating the Cardinals like a month ago, it was like 20-17. Ever since then, it's 24-20, 29-28, 23-20, 20-17. So I'll take Carolina and the points. Thank you. Then the big one, the NFC West, Seattle, San Francisco. I'm going to go the Niners at home against the Seahawks. I still don't quite trust the Seattle offense. They looked all right. They were able to run it against the Panthers. You've gone Seattle in San Francisco, though, Gaz.
Yeah, what's got me on this is I feel like the Seattle defense has got more of a chance of stopping San Fran than the San Fran defense does of stopping Seattle. And I think that'll get them over the line.
I like that. It's a good call. I just don't mind this Niners offense, and the Seattle just sort of can go a little bit janky every so often. It's weird because I believe in the Seahawks as a 1 seed a little bit more probably than I do in the Niners, but it feels like the fact that it's only come down to this, I'll take the Niners plus 1.5 at home.
Yep.
Pats hosting the Dolphins. This is, again, well, actually, that's a late afternoon game. I don't know why I've got it listed there, but whatever. 11.5 point.
Starting everyone, Jim?
I think so. Well, because
besides Stephon Diggs,
they will be, because if they win out, like, it's all up to whether or not Denver beat the Chargers, who are starting Trey Lance. But if like something goes completely awry for Denver, then you start everybody. So, because I think that's all at the same time as well, right? I think a lot of these AFC games are all at the same time. So to be honest, I should actually have that one a little bit later. But anyway, we're both going the Pats minus 11.5. The Dolphins, it's Quinn Ewers on the road. I think the Pats should be too good. I think the way they kick the crap out of the Jets, I don't like the weird late afternoon in New England game, but I think they'll be okay. Let's go the Pats. You've got the Pats as well.
Yeah, I do for now. Nice. Yeah, against the Ewers. I think that defense will shut them down.
All right. Indy, Houston. 9.5 point favorites for the Texans. Houston need to keep winning. Simple as that. So why not?
Yeah.
And I think the Colts have just, there's a defense that's just gone 1-2-3 Cancun.
They've just packed it up.
Yep. They look not very good. So that's that's a 5 a.m. start AFC game. And so is the Jacksonville, Tennessee game. So those two are at the same time. Anyway, so Houston -9.5 for both going the Texans. We have Dallas at the Giants. Ooh, could the Giants play spoiler one more time and just completely ruin their own draft pick? I say no. I'm going to go Dallas -4.5.
I agree. This has got Dallas with, continuing that role and them talking about their end of season record. They're already to a fan base is talking about, if only we had won versus had a draw versus the Packers, we'd be playing for a playoff spot right now. So they'll do what they'll kick the shit out of teams once it's already been done, pat themselves on the back, and it will be all for naught.
Love it. Cincy, Cleveland. Cincy have just sort of like gotten into a bit of a groove and look okay again, which is kind of funny. And you're just like, okay, again, if you had Joe Burrow all season, who knows what could have happened, but your defense is still shit. But against Cleveland, I think they're fine. They're 7.5 point favorites. I'm going to go the Bengals. You've gone the Bengals as well. That tracks. Atlanta hosting New Orleans. This is the funny one. So I'm going to go Atlanta. I think you've got Atlanta as well. So that's a 2.5 point favorite there for the Falcons. And the funniest thing in the world is just them winning. None of it matters. But at the same time, they don't have their pick, so they just want to keep winning. They're just putting tape out there. So I kind of feel like they're going to do it, and I think they're just a little bit better than New Orleans, even though I like New Orleans.
Yeah. No, I agree. And everything you've said.
Yeah. Nice. Minnesota, Green Bay. This is a weird one because they're kind of locked in, as we said, to that 7 seed. They probably rest folks. But 6.5 against a Vikings team that is probably starting Max Brosmer again. Who knows what they're going to be doing there. Could Minnesota win another one? I just don't like that 6.5, Gaz, against Green Bay,
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Well, I think they could keep it close. That defense, they don't have anything to play for. But they're not even playing spoiler against Green Bay. So, just going to keep it at GV.
Yep. I'll take the points. Jacksonville, Tennessee, 12.5 point favorites for the Jags at home against the Titans. The Jags have the opportunity to do the funniest thing possible, which would be to lose to the Tennessee Titans or to win and somehow fall ass backwards into the 1 seed if Denver and the Pats both lose.
Yeah.
So you have like this range of outcomes that are perfectly Jacksonville, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go Jags.
At least they've got something to play for, so keep that going. Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
Rams, Arizona. The Rams are 9.5 point favorites. I mean, McVay's already said they're going to play everybody. I think they kick the shit out of the Cardinals, so that tracks.
Indeed. Yep.
Denver over the Chargers, 12.5 point favorites against Trey Lance and his Chargers. It does seem like a pretty big number for a team that, like, the Chargers still, like, seeding is still up in the air for them. And if they do beat Denver, like, they can play absolute spoiler. But I still kind of think at home, Denver against Trey Lance, that defense is probably, like, their defense has been a little bit up and down the last few weeks, but I still think against Trey Lance, they'll probably be fine. And that's a 2-touchdown
I can't
game,
see Trey Lance moving the ball. That defense against a very, very suspect Chargers offensive line. Like, I think Trey Lance is going to be running for his life the whole game. And I think Denver just needs to put up enough points so we'll be good.
Yep. KC at Las Vegas. The no love lost here game. Gruden doing doughies in the parking lot in Arrowhead. I still think KC win this, right? They're 5.5 point favorites.
Well, I mean, Vegas have fucking queue in the rack. They've got IR. Everyone's on IR. It's like all being rested because there's no fucking point. So I think it'll be the most vanilla game from Vegas, and KC want to show a little bit of pride.
Yep. We're both going KC in that one. Philly hosting Washington, Gaz. I've gone your Eagles, and so have you.
It's hard because this one, this could be one where we just go, give up the ghost, assume that we're in the 3rd seed, rest literally everyone, won't know until the end of that game. Washington always love to just fuck with Philly in as well. So they will be playing for some self-respect, whereas Philly maybe whatever, guys. So I've gone with Philly for the moment, but fuck, you might come out and find we're playing, I don't know, starting Will Shipley and Tanner McKee and all that sort of stuff, and Carter's sitting on the sidelines, and you all of a sudden go, you know what? Even if we win, we're not going to cover that 7.5, but that line might change significantly by then, I guess.
Bit more Josh Johnson. Let's go for the Commanders at least. I'm going Philly in that one. Chicago, Detroit is actually a pretty weird one because like Chicago need to win this, and I feel like Detroit, for pride's sake and for Dan Campbell's sake, will be trying their absolute hardest to play spoiler against Chicago. But the thing is, they might not play dudes, and so I hate trying to pick this game because I think I want to go Chicago.
Yeah.
But if Detroit play everybody and they've got like a little bit of a fire lit under their ass for one last crack, like I can see the Lions winning this. Call me crazy. So I'm going to go Detroit for the second, and you've got Chicago.
Yeah, I think the smart money here is on Chicago because, as you said, they've got more to play for. We have talked about Detroit does have those injuries. The offense for Chicago has been clicking, and the offense for the Lions has been sputtering. So, yeah, look, passion might get them a certain distance in keeping this close, but I still think Chicago gets this over the line.
Yeah. Buffalo versus the Jets. This might be the Mitch Trubisky show. The Bills are still 7.5-point favorites. I'm still going to go Buffalo because the Jets, I think, have just set the record for like most losses by 21 plus points in a row. So that's not great. So give me some Mitch.
I think what we failed to mention because we skipped through because the New York Jets game was terrible. Didn't they fake a punt twice on the same drive?
Good on. We also like I love it. And Vrabel, I feel like just decided to kick the shit out of him because they were fucking around. So, which is pretty good. But we're both going Buffalo on that one. Good on them.
Yeah.
The hook and ladder for Buffalo as well against you guys. I thought that was a pretty interesting one, and like it was pretty well sniffed out and like put down. But anyway, it was very, very good. And then the big one. Pittsburgh hosting Baltimore in the regular season finale. Mike Tomlin is a home underdog. You can't go against him, Gaz. I don't know. I watched that team this week and they were shit. So I'm probably going to go against them and go Baltimore. The problem is the plus 3.5. Like the Steelers, they don't have any receivers. They scored 6 points against, what was it, Cleveland. And Baltimore's defense is a little bit better. Baltimore just put up a massive score on the Packers. I have to go Baltimore, right? I don't feel great about it, but here we are.
Yep. Yeah, no, I'm the same. I agree. I feel like, mate, Jim, being that I made all my picks first, I feel like there's a bit of lead protection going on here with all of the same picks that you've got.
Well, I still have gone against, it's funny because I think the two that I actually have different, which is Detroit, Chicago, and then Seattle, San Francisco. I actually probably agree with you more than, Seattle, San Francisco. I actually probably agree with you more on those ones, but because you put your pick in first, I had to go a little bit different, I think, here and there. The other ones are real, Green Bay, Minnesota. I could probably, Minnesota could probably win that one, but I don't know. It's just also up in the air this week. It's pretty hard to make, even though we are taping this on Wednesday, which is a day later than we usually do, I feel like we've actually got less sort of idea about what the fuck's going to happen this week. So good times, great memories. But there you go. That's it. We're heading into week 18. How are we feeling, guys?
I'm ready for this week to be over because this is a bit of a shit week. Apart from, there's like 3 games that have got really, solid implications, and everything else is kind of just holding on to see where things finish up. And you ready to get into the playoffs, Jim?
I'll tell you what. Ending the Bills' run of AFC East titles at 5 was pretty great. I enjoyed that immensely. Because I think Tom Brady's second longest streak of AFC East titles was 6. So, yeah.
There you go.
Pretty good. Blow it out your ass, Bills. At the same time, I think the week 17 slate was so weird and sort of janky across Christmas, those weird Christmas games this week. And then we have New Year's Eve, obviously, today. And these games, we don't have the Friday games this week, so we've got Sunday and Monday, and that's kind of it. There's no Monday night game. It's just like, and again, there's so much up in the air. We've got 4 divisions still to be decided, but it's all sort of like going to be decided very quickly with those first 2 games. That's sort of like, that's out of the road. And then we've sort of got the jostling here and there for the AFC. And then you got the AFC North decider at the very end of it. So it's a really strange week, but a fun one, I reckon.
Yeah.
And I reckon I'll be back in the studio for next week's show because I've got to come up and go see McCluskey at the corner. So that'll be fun. But anyway, that's it. Episode 155, NFL Straya in the bag. So make sure you're following us on Twitter, Facey, IG, TikTok, YouTube, all that sort of stuff. I don't think I'm going to do power rankings this week. I might just do a sort of season finale because it sort of seems a bit weird to do it when we don't know who the fuck's going to be playing on any team. And also, I don't have all my gear, so whatever. But we still have lots of fun stuff up there. So rate, review, star, subscribe across all of your podcast apps as well. You know what to do. Come on. You're old enough. You're big enough. Do it. Big thanks go to House Hats for the intro and outro song. They rule. Get around Jim Does Supercoach across all the socials and your podcast apps as well. I will try to do a very short NFL Supercoach one, but I mean, with fantasy basically done, it's just me yelling about how great I am, I think, for fucking 10 minutes. So,
Jim, that's no different to any other show that you do.
Thank you. NBA Straya as well. I'm taking 2 weeks off that while I'm down the beach. So, you know, unless something else crazy happens. Like Jokic got hurt. That's not good, but I don't know if I need to do a show. Either way, we'll be back in about a week and a half. So, yeah, Gaz, what do you want to plug?
Just last week of the regular season of cheesesteak tipping. Get in on that. That's about it. I'm ready to say goodbye to fucking 2025. It's been a shit show. Let's go. Let's move on.
Nice. Pretty good. Sounds pretty good. All right. Well, there you go. Cheesesteaktipping.com. I think Jez won it this week. I think I put in my tips, and I don't know how I went, but it wasn't very good, obviously. So, sucked in me. But I reckon we'll be at the Catfish for a few playoff games as well in January. So, come down and say good day.
So, yeah.
Nice one. All right. Well, we will catch you next week, you dickheads, when we've actually got playoffs set, seeding's done. Hopefully, a Pat's 1 seed, and I can take a week off and just chill the fuck out and not stress, which would be nice. Anyway, we'll speak to you then.
See yous.
Later, Hosen.